Liverpool versus Arsenal. Mikel Arteta lashes out at unacceptable collapse despite dramatic comeback. It was a match that had everything: passion, goals, drama, and even a red card. But when the dust settled on a 2-2 draw at Anfield, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta wasn't applauding his team's grit. He was seething. In a game that could have tilted the Premier League title race or solidified Champions League hopes, Arsenal found themselves 2 goals down before the halftime whistle even blew. Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz lit up the first half for Liverpool, slicing through a sluggish Gunners backline that looked more like passengers than Premier League contenders. This wasn't the response Arteta wanted following a midweek heartbreak in Europe. Arsenal had been eliminated from the Champions League by Paris Saint-Germain just days earlier, and it showed. The energy was flat, the confidence rattled, the defensive structure in pieces. Liverpool smelled blood early and went for the jugular. Gakpo opened the scoring in the 18th minute with a clinical finish, capitalizing on a lack of communication between William Saliba and Aaron Ramsdale. Just 10 minutes later, Diaz added insult to injury, twisting and turning past Ben White before rifling a low shot into the far corner. The Emirates faithful watching from afar were stunned. Arsenal fans in the away end looked gutted. This wasn't a title-chasing performance. This was a team unraveling at the seams. Second-half resurgence, but a bitter aftertaste. Yet somehow Arsenal clawed their way back into the game. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't smooth, but it was fueled by something primal: desperation. Gabriel Martinelli, who had been muted in the first 45 minutes, ignited Arsenal's hopes with a scrappy goal early in the second half. It wasn't a moment of magic. It was a moment of chaos, capitalizing on a loose ball in the box and smashing it past Alisson. The momentum shifted. Suddenly it was Liverpool on the back foot. Anfield grew quieter. You could feel it. Arsenal smelled a comeback. And then, in the 71st minute, the equalizer arrived. Mikel Merino, arriving late into the box like a man on a mission, slotted the ball home after a beautiful through pass from Martin Odegaard. The Gunners had done it, or so it seemed. But football, like life, rarely follows the script. Just 11 minutes later, Merino, the hero of the hour, turned villain. A late challenge on Dominik Szoboszlai earned him a second yellow, reducing Arsenal to 10 men yet again, the 6th time this season they've been in that position. It was a self-inflicted wound that could have turned a heroic fight back into a tragic collapse. Luckily for Arsenal, they held on. A point at Anfield is never a bad result, unless you're chasing trophies. Arteta pulls no punches. After the match, Arteta didn't sugarcoat anything. There were no cliches, no platitudes, just raw, honest frustration. What we did in the first half is nowhere near the level. To do it after that? It's not acceptable, Arteta said, visibly agitated in his post-match interview with Sky Sports. The Spaniard didn't care that his team showed heart. He didn't care that they fought back from the brink. To him, the first-half performance undermined everything. We reacted. Great. But it is unacceptable. You don't want to be fighting for trophies and performing like that, he added. That's the level you need. No one can promise you a win. You're going to have 6-7 teams who pray to be in the Champions League next year. You have to show up. Arteta's words weren't just for the cameras. They were a public call-out and a private indictment of a team that, at times, looks more like pretenders than contenders. The action that we had after 20-25 minutes, when the team plays like this, that's on me, he admitted. It's not about the players, it's about we. No one accepts those standards. It has to hurt. A lot. This wasn't tactical criticism. This was emotional. This was a manager who believed in his players and felt betrayed by their passivity, especially after such a pivotal European exit. A season on the brink. The result leaves Arsenal clinging to second place in the Premier League table with just 2 matches remaining. They trail Manchester City by 3 points, and with the reigning champions in relentless form, there's no margin for error. Up next, a massive clash at the Emirates against Champions League hopefuls Newcastle United. Then it's a trip to already relegated Southampton on the final day, a match that, on paper, should be 3 points in the bag. But nothing has come easy for Arsenal lately. The real challenge now is mental. How do you bounce back from European heartbreak, a self-sabotaged first half, and mounting public pressure? How do you hold your nerve when the league, the legacy, and the locker room are all on the line? For Arteta, it begins with accountability, and that started the moment he stepped in front of the